Alright, welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, classic/no classics. This is episode number 3000, and I believe this is 18, correct? Yeah, 3018, Doubleshot number 2912. We're reviewing a Cable trade and an X-Force trade. This one basically is Cable, The End. That's the name of the trade. It came out 2020. Oh my gosh, like 23 years ago. But, yeah, I was going to do Cable Soldier X, but because I already did Shining Path already, I figured I'd do this and other Soldier X with that particular one. So, we're here discussing the last 7 issues of Cable Volume 1. This basically coming this trade here. The writing here is done by David Tashman and Igor Cordaly, I think it's how I pronounce it. It kind of continues what the last year was doing with Cable overseas and just doing his own thing. He just goes to foreign countries, acting like a mercenary. You think, wait a minute, that kind of doesn't sound like Cable. Well, that's how basically the writers wrote him at the point. Yeah. Yeah, it's Cable in the country of Messenia. Yes. That's this is not technically the first time it appeared. Though I credit it as the probably when it was just simply Messenia. But it has technically appeared here. It appeared here for 4 of these 7 issues. It's basically where Cable is. He's just dealing with some. It just feels like basically the writer just doesn't know what he's doing, just having the character fight some no-name characters. Though I love the covers. That's the best thing about these issues is the covers. At the few issues being this fictitious country, then he goes back to New York in issue number 104. Yes, after being in this country for 4 issues, he spent the last 3 issues. It's almost like basically that this. So we deal with a mutant, a Brazilian mutant who apparently he's here for 1 issue. It's like 105. It's not done by this writer here. 105 is a split book. It is written by Darko Makun and Ron Zimmerman. Igor Nagar, who does the artwork here. Just Cable and a Winchester in Brazil. The very next issue, he deals with a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Yeah, he deals with S.H.I.E.L.D. He's basically in Brazil. Well, he's in Kazakhstan. And we get the first appearance of also Lazarus Gulen, who's here for this 1 issue. And that's it. There's not really a lot that happens over the course of these 7 issues. Just Cable just wandering for 7 issues. It's okay. Probably the best thing about this issue is the artwork and the covers. But it's like, yeah, this is the end of the Cable ongoing. I'm going to give the book a 8 out of 10. So, final thoughts on Cable Volume 1. Well, prior to these last, 10 issues, the book has been really good. Yes. If you go from the beginning of the series, the book got good direction. Especially we have a writer like Fabian Nicieza write the book. Oh, yeah. You have Fabian Nicieza as your opening writer for the book. Who did an excellent job of the book, by the way. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was technically I believe he was like the first writer of the book. Yeah, Famous Caesar was the starting writer for this book. And if you're really curious, how long did he stay on as the writer? Well, he stayed on until Jeff Loeb took the book, which of course, from what I heard, that Liefeld actually was a big fan of the fact that he loved what he did with the book. He took over issue 15, so the season did technically, in a way, the first 14 issues. I think issue 16. Did he do issue 16 as well? No, that was Larry Hammond. Larry Hammond did 16. And then, of course, you had Jeff Loeb. Did the book from issues 15 to 39. And these were excellent issues. I loved every single bit of these issues. And then you had, for issue 40 of this book, you had Todd DeZinko as your writer. Yes, Todd DeZinko wrote this book. And he wrote this book for 4 issues. Yep. And he was succeeded by James Robinson, who had another... Like, I would say that he also had a really good run of this book. How long did he stay for? He stayed from issues 44 to 50. Not very long run, per se. Then he had Joe Casey. I love his issues, too. Except he was on the book for 20 issues. He had 51 to 70. Probably at this point, probably the longest run in the book. Then you had Joe Pruitt, who wrote the book for 71, 73 to 78. Of course, you have Rob Liefeld coming in. Who did 72, you might ask? That was done by Sean C. Barry. Yeah, that involved basically stuff related to... it was like a flashback issue, this one. And what about the remaining issues? Well, then you had Robert Wilmberg as your writer, which... Not a very terrible writer, per se. No, it wasn't terrible. He did from issue 79. He did it up until issue 96. Yeah. So, it's like right after he left, that's when the books start going downhill. You have David Tossman as your writer for the remaining 10 issues of this book. And if you're curious, though, did this guy basically do the successor Soldier X book? Well, he just did issue 103. He didn't do the final issue. Nope. Yeah, with 103, they switched writers. Yeah, 104, you have Igor Turkey, who did issue 104. Then you had Draco Makin. And he did the last 3 issues of the book. And he's the one who pretty much did the replacement book Soldier X. I'll be discussing another point, but it's like it started good, and then it just... It's like you get these last 10 issues, you're like, what happens these last 10 issues? And honestly, not much. It didn't feel like Cable at all. It just felt like Cable in name only, just him doing random stuff. Yep. So, next up, basically, we have is Counter X X-Force, which collects 102 to 109 of X-Force. Excuse me. Yep. Yeah, and at this point in time, you have Warren Ellis doing the issues. You think, wait a minute, Warren Ellis? Oh, yeah. Warren Ellis does X-Force. Those of you curious about 101, that was part of a crossover. That was part of the whole thing of the powerless stuff. That's why we're discussing that there. So, 102, we have Pete Wisdom in the team. Now, Cable is not in the book at this point in time. Nope, he left book issue 70. He's basically on his own. The very first arc in this book is called Game Without Frontiers. It is a 4-part story arc. Yeah, and it's basically, it just kind of in the way, this is like Warren Ellis just having the book crossover with Excalibur. Well, stuff he was writing Excalibur at this point in time. I gotta admit that they had new outfits because they were trying something new with this book. I didn't think it was a terrible idea. Nope. It's like he was trying to take a new direction, which was fine. I didn't have an issue with that at all. Nope, you had basically X-Force just taking on some terrorists. Doing spy stuff. That's basically what Warren Ellis was doing. And supposedly Pete Wisdom, he gets killed off during the story after his period of time. Yeah, but don't worry, he comes back. Yeah, he comes back like a year later. And then we have a brand new story arc known as, there's this event called Shockwave, which is something that basically spread out across the X books. Well, mostly put basically, this is the event that pretty much basically wrapped this, all the books ended. One X-Force. X-Force managed last another year, but X-Men and Generation X, that ended pretty much afterwards. It was, so you have basically, I would say it's more like a flashback. You have Danny Moonstar, she leaves the book, and Domino leaves the team too. At the very start of the story. First it's called Murder Ballads. Murder Ballads is basically the 4 issues here. And basically Domino is still part of the book, but she's not on the team anymore. Nope. And she's here for pretty much the remainder of these issues. It's like, oh yeah, they also kill someone called Marcus Tongue. You saw Warren Ellis crazy, so he killed him off into this. My guess is that, well, even though that Cable is not here, you gotta at least have somebody associated with Cable part of this group, so I guess they kept Domino in the group. I gotta admit, basically, these issues were actually really good. A lot of good spy stuff, battling some other guys here. It wasn't standard X-Force per se, but it was still really good. You also Ian Edgerton basically coming as, well, a co-writer for this book. Yeah, he had him coming as a co-writer for pretty much the entirety of Warren Ellis' time in the book. But yeah, unlike Cable, this felt like stuff actually happened. It was actually stuff progressing forward. Oh yeah, by issue 109, they reduced the roster of the Cannonball, Meltdown, Jesse Bellum, and Proud James Proudstar, aka Warpath. Jesse Bellum basically just a character who John Francis Moore created for this book. Which he had been on the team since issue 82, and he's here for pretty much the end of this run. I'll get to more to him later on. But that's the difference between Cable and X-Force. That Cable, not much stuff going on there, but at least X-Force, stuff actually happens. I get the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Yep, so yeah, that's particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. What's next, you might ask? Why, it's basically, well, it's X Factor and The Thing. Okay, next view. Bye.